Oklahoma. It's approximately way too fucking hot degrees Fahrenheit outside right now. We're in the shitty drift car. Oh fuck, big bump. Fuck. Oh, it stalled. God damn it. Here we are, behind some random middle school. So there's been plenty of times these last few years that I wish I would have just got my phone out and started recording some of the shit that I get up to with my cars. Plan on doing some small stuff to this thing here soon, documenting some of it, so I figured why not just get in here and make an introduction. Get started right now. This is my 1992 BMW e36 325i, very early model OBD1 car. This is my first time stepping into BMW chassis, or pretty much any chassis other than DSMs as it is. Had a major shitload of Mitsubishi Eclipses and Eagle Talons, a bunch of front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive cars, and this has been my first kind of territory into rear-wheel drive stuff, and I've been enjoying it so far. I've gotten quite a bit out of this car, done quite a bit with it. It's about as used and dirty and abused as it's ever been. So let's go ahead and start front to back. I'll give a quick overview of it. So, elephant in the room, front of the car is white. The rest of the car is not white. This car was originally dark blue, some kind of navy shit. This thing's been passed around, abused. I think I'm like the 14th owner or some shit. I bought this car for $500 about a year ago now. And ever since then, I've put entirely too much money into it and entirely too much of my time. And the result is a turd, but slightly more polished than it was when I got it. As most E36s that are alive today, this thing is Frankensteined and cobbled together with a lot of different cars. Starting off here, of course, believe it or not, I didn't spray paint this. It's still dirty. Rad support, entire front clip, valance, headlights, all that stuff, pulled off a junkyard car because I ripped mine at a drift event. This nice little M3 bumper here. If you look real close past my color match zip ties, you can see that I've ran over it about 4 times, and the bumper itself is in about 80 different pieces. Looking into the engine bay here, we have the nice stout M50. It's a M50 block, Brian Crower stroker kit. Brings it up to a 2.9 liter. Got an N52 head with a Vanos delete, dual M52 intake cams. Everything has been yanked out of this car minus power steering. No AC, no emissions bullshit, no charcoal canister. As simple as it gets. Makes enough torque and power to boogie and have some fun. That motor made it to a 5-speed Getrag. In the rear, we've got a 391 LSD that locks up like a sumbitch. 391 gearing means I get about 4,000 RPM at 75 miles an hour in 5th gear. So I can practically watch the gas gauge go down as I daily drive this car, which absolutely sucks. Suspension-wise, front and rear, we've got some bargain bin race lands that came on the car when I bought it. We've got offset front control arm bushings, cut knuckles, brand new lower control arms, ball joints. Entire front end is brand new, minus steering rack and the blown-ass coilovers. Looking into the rear back here, we've got some Max PP rod camber arms. Still stock toe adjustment, which sucks. You can see how much toe end I've got, and it's maxed out. Now, moving on to these beautiful, beautiful wheels. Clean, polished, I take good care of my stuff. Don't look at that. These are C4 Corvette Z51, some shit like that, some kind of weird model. I'm not a Corvette guy. They're wheels off a fucking Corvette. I believe they're 8 wides, 16s, and they fit beautifully on this old girl. They're actually a 5x120 lug pattern. All I did was take a die grinder to the center board so that I could actually fit them on this fucking car. So now interior wise, you can see that there is none. This car's pretty much entirely gutted. Chassis mount shifter, Sparco bucket seats. They're real, but they really fucking suck. One of the previous owners kind of took a hacksaw to where the back seats used to be and riveted a subwoofer back there. I hated it, so I bungee corded my own. Got all the trash, oil bottles, and tools any E36 could ever dream of back here. Other than that, pretty much basic in here. I don't know what this wheel's off of. M-Tech 3, some shit like that. The airbags and the passenger floorboard, I couldn't really care enough. If we look back in this beautiful trunk, you can see that that's where the battery used to be, and that's how the battery fell out on the highway because this, that's gone. There's a little bit of rust back here. amp, beautiful wiring job. I mounted this battery here last second to pass tech at a drift event. Spare tarps, because I used to not have a back window, so I just kind of throw that over the rear whenever it was raining. It's a little dusty in here. I don't come in here often. Now, exhaust-wise, we're catless. I think there's maybe one muffler in there, and a AMG resonator that was welded on by a beautiful previous owner. So she sounds just fantastic. Everything you could ever imagine from an E36 that looks like this. One more closer look in the back seat, you can see that I cut this with a bandsaw to put new fuel lines on the day I bought the car, because it was $500 and I didn't really give a shit enough to drop the tank. Other than that, this seat's mounted pretty well. That driver's seat I can move with my pinky finger, so I kind of slish around a little bit on the inside of the car, but that's no big deal. Not sure why the seatbelts are still in here. I have fit like 5 people in the back seat of this car before, but I don't think those were ever used. Sticker tune's on point, and so is my paint marker tune. Just kind of hand people markers whenever and let them ride in the car. Overspray on the taillights from a previous owner when they spray painted this entire car black. You can see my nice window well job for putting this rear window in that I got from the scrapyard. Missing like about 3/4 of all of the door and fender trim. I pulled some off a junkyard car. I have it sitting in my garage for whenever I feel like making this car look nice again. Engine bay may look kind of tucked and clean, but if you look around, you can kind of see why it looks like that. Pretty much everything in here is held in by zip ties. My fan clutch exploded, so this is still here. The blades are gone, and I got these beautiful fans for $80 at an O'Reilly's because I blew my shit up. Actually wired up to my fog lights, so when my low beams or parking lights are on, they come right to life. But with that being said, the second I turn my high beams on, they turn off. So driving at night isn't really super cool in this car, but I'm too lazy to fix that, so it's whatever. And also, for some reason, this car loves blowing fuel pump drivers on ECUs. Never fixed that issue, I just kind of dealt with it. So we've got pump hardwired to a switch, just in case someone decides to steal this pile of shit. If they can figure out how to get in the driver's door without a handle, they also have to press a switch. It's a lovely little girl, though, you know? I've been through some up and downs. I've blown motors. I've been through transmissions. I've snapped just about every diff mount out of this car, blown every bushing. I've been through an entire front end, crumpled the front end, 3 radiators, and even still this one I kind of had to cut up and crimp over because I blew a few cores out. I don't know. It's a fun car. I like putting it sideways and hitting curbs, and eventually I would like to smack a wall so hard that I total the shit out of it. I wish you could smell the smells that radiate off this thing and kind of choke you out from the inside. It runs so pig shit rich that it smells like there's an open container of gasoline in the passenger seat. And randomly, when oil likes to spill out of my valve cover onto my exhaust manifolds, it'll get so fucking smoky in here you think you're on a hookah bar. If I turn my fans on, of course I don't have AC, so if I try to, use the heater, this entire cabin will fill up with the nice rich smell of burning. I can't tell if it's electrical or oil or something. All I know is it does not smell good, and it makes your eyes burn, and it will choke you the fuck out. So if I ever need to use my heater, I just simply don't. This window rolls down. That window is completely off track and is held up by a block of wood. That window rolls down. This window will roll down, but it won't roll back up. I like to keep this one cracked a little bit. Sometimes if I want maximum airflow, I'll crack that one down, get a good wind tunnel going on in here. That's kind of how you keep the smell of oil out of the inside of the car when you're driving. I say these things and most people think that, it's an issue or I'm complaining, but truly, I don't know, this car wouldn't be the same without it, If I you know, didn't have the steering wheel violently shake at 65 miles an hour, or have my nose burnt when I turned on my heater, or, you know, like if it idled correctly, it just wouldn't feel right. At the end of the day, it will always be a $500 car. No matter what I do, no matter how much money I spend on it, it will always be my $500 E36. With the amount of torque this thing has, all it takes is a little bit throttle tap in second gear around a corner and it'll be sideways. And this thing drives itself. I mean, it's the easiest car to get sideways that I've ever driven. I started out drifting in this thing. I'm still learning, and I mean, it's been fantastic. It's been absolutely fantastic so far. I'm probably going to pull the camera out, take some videos of wrenching on this thing here soon. Whenever I can, whenever I feel like it. Get some videos of doing whatever tomfoolery I get up to. I don't know. She's a quirky girl. Peace.